What is up, Ashen Ones? This is VernDog2 here, and welcome to the final episode of my Ashes of Ariandel walkthrough. In this episode, we will be dealing with the final
Yes,
boss,
there is a
Sister
thing
Friede,
thou shouldst by rights possess,
as
a
well
remembrance of
as
this may
showing
it be
off
ever.
some of the
Now thou'st
weapons
obtained,
that we picked up through
be forewarned, eager
the
Ash.
uh, the
Should this
DLC
world
here.
wither and rot, even then would Ariandel remain our home. Leave us be. Thou art the Lord of Londor, and have thine own subjects to guide.
So because I did the I think it's the usurping of the flame, basically the Londor ending. Basically, it gives you a different dialogue that she gives, basically saying where you are
Thou art
the Lord of
ash, thou
Londor,
hast
that
packed
you need to
made
go
by
back
Uncle
because you
Gale,
have your
so I
own
wish to tell
servants
thee all.
to look after.
Behold its size. This is my canvas. It's to be a cold, dark, and very gentle place. But first, I must see flame. I wish to paint a picture of a cold, dark, and very gentle place. One day, it will make someone a goodly home. That's why I must see flame. I wished of a cold one day. That's why.
So yeah, that's just her showing or talking about how she needs the flame so that she can paint the picture. Now this is actually the summoning sign for Gale, her uncle, which you can summon him, which I'm going to for this battle, just because makes it, I guess, a little easier, I guess you could say, for a pyromancer person, just because they can focus on him while you cast your fireballs at her, but it's not really necessary. It just helps out a lot. I may upload another video of me trying to do it solo, but I really just didn't feel like doing it, to be honest with you, at this point. Um, Plus, I wanted to show you um, basically the full DLC helpful information. Plus, Geld isn't summoned until the second half, or the second part of the boss battle. So you actually have to do the first part solo.
Seeing all its sorrows, I can see it, feel it.
Fret not, Father. We have no need of thy flail. 'Tis only the flame quivering at misguided ash. Please avert thine eyes. I will snuff out these ashes for good.
So yeah, this part right here. Actually, it took me 2 tries to beat her. I'm actually just going to show you the first part of the battle, or the first time I tried. I was going to try and use the chaos to parry her, but I'm just really bad at it, and I could not get it down. So her signature little move here is that she will go invisible, and she will just disappear, and there's a trick to it, which once you learn how or what she does with that, it makes this first part of the battle extremely simple. I just didn't understand it during this first fight, but in the second part I do figure out what's going on and how to to
From
deal
whence
with
thou
her with it.
camest, fury surely awaits thee.
Also in the first battle here, she just does frost damage, so any kind of pyromancy spell will deal good damage to her. I don't know if she's weak to dark, but it's probably just best to use your pyromancy spells. Right here, I'm just getting rid of the report and adding the flame shot, or that flame or floating chaos spell, because my theory was that if you put it up, maybe it will track her when she goes invisible, which it actually does. So you can actually, well, it sort of does. Sometimes I don't think it did, but for the most part it did. It will actually shoot at her when she goes invisible, kind of giving you the location of where she's at, so you can take her out, or at least get up close to her and not have to worry about her sneaking up on you and attacking you. So yeah, as you can see there, it did its job by showing me where she was, and actually did some damage to her as well, which was great. Now, what she does is when she goes invisible, she will, like right there, for some reason the flaming chaos just messed up and shot at nothing. Plus, I think if you get too close to the big guy, it will actually try and target him as well instead of her. But the way it works is she'll go invisible, and she will either jump up and jump to the other side, or she will jump or like try and circle around you. I got really close here to dying. Luckily, I was able to get it. Now, if you see it go up like that, that means that she jumped up and over you. For some reason, I just missed her there. I overran her. But I finally, at this point, I kind of understand her little tactics. And there she just jumped, so I'm going to come up here and find her. So what she does is she sits there and charges her blade, so you can actually get in some free hits on her. And here I'm just trying to create some space so I can use some pyromancies on her to finish her off, but she decides to go and use her invisibility again. But I was able to finish her off there. Now that's the first half of it. The second half, for some reason I accidentally cut out the cutscene of this, but he gets pissed off and pretty much comes at you when he finds out that you killed her. Now for this fight, it's you and against him and her, and Gale got summoned. So Gale's kind of taking her on at this point. The easiest way to fight this that I saw was to just fight the big guy, Father Ariandel, just because he's a bigger target and he doesn't move as fast as what she does, so he can't dodge your spells, and your pyromancy spells are going to do a crap ton of damage to him. Plus they share a life bar. So right there I staggered him, and I was trying to, I think I reposted him. Just couldn't see it because he was up against the wall there. So once you kill him, pretty much, it basically acts like it's over because you get a Titanite slab there. And then this happens, which causes her to pop up again, and now she has ice and dark spells. So this is the third part of the fight, and as you can see, Gale's pretty useful in this part, because when she goes invisible, he can still see her. So he will chase after her and take her on, but so that pretty much gives you the ability to find the lock on and then hit her from afar while she's focused on him. And if you do this properly, you can actually kill her before she kills Gale. But what you want to do is try and get her as low as possible before she kills him. If she does end up killing him, that way you don't have much to deal with in terms of trying to take her out by yourself. So I believe she killed him right there, or she's about to kill him. And then basically right after she killed him, I killed her. And that's pretty much the end of the actual fight. So I don't actually go and look at the little, I guess, sculpture up there. But that is a sculpture of, I guess, a snake lady. Like, I guess it's part human on the top and then a snake body at the bottom. I guess it's like a god or something that they worship. Not really sure what it's in reference to. You can probably check one of the theorist pages out there and they'll be able to tell you. Now if you go back up to this girl, she'll have different dialogue.
Those who aren't kin to fire cannot paint a world. Those absorbed by fire must not paint a world. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten, Mother. I can hear the fire crackle, and soon I will see it. My thanks, Ashen One. I will finish the painting of a cold, dark, and very gentle place, so that it might make a home for someone someday. My thanks, I will finish of a cold, so that it might.
So there's actually more dialogue to her. I think what it is that you have to either leave or come back or something. But there's some more dialogue where she basically says Gale is going out looking for the darkness of the humanity, or like the pigment of humanity or something, in which she can use to paint with, which could refer to many things. I'm not really a theorist person, so I'm not really going to speculate on what that could be. Now if you come out to this bonfire and go out here and talk to this guy, he will give you your third and final Titanite slab of the DLC.
I can hear the crackling from here, the sound of my home, the painting of Ariandel burning away. When the world rots, we set it afire for the sake of the next world. It's the one thing we do right, unlike those fools on the outside. When the world rots,
Honestly, this guy right here, he's trying to make a reference to how they basically burn their world away, and it's just a cycle. Which in reality, Dark Souls 3, well, just Dark Souls, the world itself follows that logic. Pretty much, it's supposed to go in a path of, the Ancients, then the Age of Fire, and then the Age of Dark. But we've been stuck in the Age of Light or Fire for some time now. Basically, every time the bell tolls, that's why we're being summoned, is to try and keep the Age of Fire alive. Which in reality we should just let it die and go to the Age of Dark, which is the Age of Man, and just let the cycle repeat itself. Because if you listen to the ending of Dark Souls 3, where you let the Firekeeper extinguish the flame, or at least see or give her the eyes of the Firekeeper, she'll talk about how she still sees flickering lights like embers of previous souls, that pretty much makes a reference as to that one day, the Age of Fire will return, once the darkness has run its course. Now I'm just kind of showing off the weapons here. The two items that you can get with Friede's Soul is her scythe, and then you can get the flail. I am going to get the scythes, obviously, just because they look cooler, and they're, I believe, better than the flail, because the flail has a very short range, and then the scythe is more of a the scythe is actually a very difficult weapon to use because it's very combo oriented, whereas I'm assuming the flail is probably just a straightforward, you hit, just spam the RB or L1 button and it will work out perfectly. You just have to be in close range. Where with the scythes here, I mean, you could spam your RB button, but it's not meant to be used that way. So I'm just going to show off the scythe here, and then I don't have the stamina or the requirements for the strength, but it still lets me do all the things with it. So these are just the normal two-handed, and then this is when you hold down the left trigger button. It will allow you to bring out both scythes, and it has a ridiculous combo. Now this I think scales with magic, or it has a magic damage as well as physical. So it also does frost damage as well with that second scythe. Okay, so yeah, right there, that's because I don't have the skills for it. That should be when it sends out a wave of ice along the ground, but I didn't have the strength for it, so I didn't do it. Now I think right here I'm just going to go level up the weapons, just so that you can kind of see what they look like in comparison to their scaling and everything when they are somewhat maxed out. I don't get the quills up high enough because I don't think I have enough Titanite chunks. The crow item here, I don't have enough chunks to level it up all the way, but even at the level it's at, it does really good damage. And if you were to give it a sharp gem, it will even increase it more to the point where it should have S scaling once you're done. Now, one of the weapons I didn't look at or even try and use was the follower saber, which seems to be a unbelievable weapon at this point. I believe a lot of people in PvP are using that weapon at this point as well because of its weapon art skill, dealing out massive amounts of damage to people. Yeah, but as you can see here, I mean, you can see what these certain items scale with and how strong they actually are. The Onyx Blade there actually just scales with faith and strength, I believe is what it showed. I just don't have enough strength or dexterity to use the black flames on it. That's one thing I didn't like about the weapon arts. Like, you have to have perfect requirements to use the skill art for most of these weapons. And I believe I even level up my strength here to the point where the only thing I needed was dexterity, and it still wouldn't let me use the weapon art.
For the Lord Link.
Like, I feel like this weapon art should be capable of being used as long as you got at least 3 of the 4 things maxed out. Or at least just have the faith and intellect. Just considering that it's black flames and it's based off of your pyromancy levels, not your strength and dexterity. Oh well. Well, I'm really thinking of probably trying to level up these and actually go into a new game and just do a run through with all these weapons on different characters, just to see how well they work. But that's everything until at least new DLC content comes out. So I hope you enjoyed it. I may try and do some PvP stuff. I'm really bad at it, but who knows? I might try some. I got some other games that are going on right now as well that I'm working on. So if you want, you can watch some of theirs or some of those as well. But I hope you enjoyed um, this walkthrough, and hopefully you'll enjoy the other videos that I put out. But please leave a like on this if you enjoyed it, and comment down below if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions as to what else I should play in the future. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more gaming content. That's everything, so peace out, guys.